Who are the conquistadors? The word conquistador comes from the Spanish and means he who conquers. The conquistadors were those men who took up arms to conquer, subjugate, and convert native populations in Haiti, Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and the rest of the Caribbean and Central and South America. Conquistadors were motivated by the phrase, God, gold, and glory, and aimed to bring so-called lawless and pagan people to Christianity, as well as secure personal and national treasures. Although there were many leaders of the conquistadors, history notes written accounts by Las Casas, who traveled with more memorable, known leaders such as Diego de Velázquez, Panfilio de Narváez, Hernando Cortés, and many others. Although Christopher Columbus was an Italian conqueror, he was financed by the Spanish Queen Isabella of Castile and King Ferdinand of Aragon, joining as a conquistador to further the Spanish expeditions to Hispaniola, Puerto Rico in 1508, Jamaica in 1509, Cuba in 1511, and especially the land known today as Mexico. He brought more tidings of gold and silver. Hundreds of Spanish hidalgos, meaning noblemen, rushed to join expeditions heading for the Americas. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32 and 33. Thy sons and daughters shall be given into another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy laborers shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 49 reads, The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Why do you wish to sail west?
His 1492 conquering of the New World marked the beginning of the Spanish conquest of what later would become known as America. Columbus discovered that there was land on this side of the world by using the book of Esdras, so this eliminates any possibility that this was by mystery or by chance that this happened. As we read the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 13 verse 40 through 45, it explains in detail the prophecy that would come upon the children of Israel at this time. The book of 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Verse 45. For though that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Azariah. New World which Columbus mentions is called Azariah. The Jewish Encyclopedia defines Azariah as the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration. Columbus identified America with this land. Christopher Columbus's penetration into the Americas began the transatlantic slave trade in the 1490s. On his first day, October 12th, 1492, the explorer wrote in his diary, I took some of the natives by force. He later found the original inhabitants to be tractable, peaceable, and concluded, there is not in the world a better nation. His response as a European was to say that the Indians must be made to work and adopt our ways. Despite traversing the turbulent Atlantic Sea and losing 800 of the 1,100 Taino men he boarded into a ship, Columbus still decided to continue the slave trade from the Americas. They also committed other acts of force and violence and oppression. The milk in the breast of the women with infants dried up, and thus in a short while the infants perish. Children are torn from their distracted parents, from their screaming children, wives from their frantic husbands, husbands from their violated wives, brothers from their loving sisters, and sisters from their affectionate brothers. See them collected in flocks like a herd of swine. Driven to the ships, they cry, they struggle, they resist, but all in vain. No eye pities, no hand helps. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68 reads, And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen,